Hello, hello. Just getting this sprinkled around. All right, I think I'm ready to roll here. Please come in and say hello. Let me know where you're watching. Hi, Eva. How are you? I'm doing well. For a day after work, I'm doing okay. That's not been easy to say most of this week. Yesterday, I went to the hairdresser and I told her to just shave it all off. I didn't even care. She didn't, but I told her to. Okay, so my name is Linda Anderson. I own Aqueous Silk LLC. I'm a water marbling artist and a crafter. And tonight we're going to be doing some fun marbling. I have paper to do and some cloth. I'm working on several large projects, so it's going to seem a little bit repetitive on what I'm doing. But I have my bandana tank out here tonight, so I can put more than one item in here. But I need to get it marbled, the stuff marbled, so I may as well do it live. Nothing exciting tonight. Well, it's always exciting to marble, but nothing unusual. Maybe that's the way I should say it. And if you don't mind sprinkling out the video, I would appreciate it. Let me make sure my volume is up. And guys, I have forgotten to tell my daughter that I'm going live, so if she calls and interrupts us, I apologize in advance. So I'm going to be doing, I actually am going to be doing some polyester cotton tonight. I've never marbled a blend before, and I kind of did an experiment. I cut a piece that I need for one project, and we'll work on that project together. And hi, Nora, how are you? I hope you're well. Hi, Connie. I've never marbled a blend before. Pardon me. I specifically went to the store and purchased some poly cotton to try it out. I cut one piece for my one project, and I did not wash the fabric first. Thank you. And then I washed the remaining fabric, and then I cut it into the pieces I need for a different project. So we're going to see how it works out. So I like to experiment to kind of see, what I can push, because, having to wash all the fabric is just one more step. My cotton that I buy is a quilter's cotton, and it's ready to be dyed. So I never wash that first. I just prep it and marble it. So anyway, that's a little bit of our experiment we're running tonight. So I have got a terrible frog in my throat. I don't know where it came from, but it showed up just in time for live. So let me get this cleared off, and then I will point you down and we will get started, because I have quite a bit I want to get done tonight. I have some very, very fun projects I want to work with you guys on a live. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. I have two. One's ready to go. The other one's not quite. So we'll be getting to that here in the next week or so. So let's point you down so you can see what I'm doing. Try not to knock the phone off into the water. Ouch. I spilled a little box of hair clips that I use when I make my bows. And, of course, I keep stepping on them. I should actually pick them up, but it's pretty easy to just walk around them ordinarily. All right, tighten that up. Now we'll get this thing to point down, if I can get the right. I don't know how that looks. I'm going to have to come around the front. I'm too short to reach across the table. Don't look at the mess behind the table. All right, that's pretty good, right? Well, let me see. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Okay, so here's my water. This is water with seaweed powder in it. And these are, I just mixed up some new paints last night, so I'm going to test them real quick, make sure they float appropriately. I should have come in here and shaken them up earlier, but I didn't think about it. Hi, Diana. How are you? I tell you, the last few weeks at work have just been, have you ever had days when you're at your day job, if you have one, and it just feels like it sucks the life out of you? Oh, that one's floating. That looks okay. No bubbles, please. This is acrylic paint. And that's the way the last few weeks have been for me. It just feels like it's sucking the life out of me. Oh, look how pretty that is. And that one's doing well. Let me get a little bit of this orange over here. Might as well use this tank. I was just going to test them and then empty it out, but while I have paint on the water, we may as well use it. Now I'm going to add a little bit of white. Well, the mixing water and mixing paint are the two of my least favorite things to do when it comes to marbling. And then this is a brighter teal. So we've got kind of an unusual color pattern going here. I can't wait till I can marble in the garage again, because then I can do the stone pattern, which is just pouncing the paint on. It gives such a beautiful design. I think I'll drop in just a touch more of the orange. I have a light teal and then the brighter teal in here. I know they look very, very similar on the water. Okay. So those look good. I've got a bubble right here. So now before I begin, should I comb this or should I just freestyle it? I really want to do a stone pattern, but I can't when I'm in the house. I think. Any comments on which design? Should I use the big tool and comb it, or should I just freestyle? Anybody have a thought? No? Well, maybe, let's see. Hold it. I forget I have to touch this. Hi, Juanita. Freestyle. That's what I was going to do, Diana. So let's just get this started here. I'm going to do some paper first. I want to get the paper hung up in the... I hang my papers and my cloth in the guest bathroom over the tub, and I want to get the paper in there dripping before I add the cloth to the underneath rack. So there is a method to my madness here. You can feel just a little bit of resistance. This is actually kind of a pretty color combination. Oh, this is so fun. It's so nice after a day of work. You know, fighting the traffic and getting home is sometimes a challenge. And then, but once I'm here and I've had some dinner and I'm ready to marble, oh, it's just wonderful. So let me get the papers. It's fun because I can put several sheets in here. They will be the same colorway, but they will not look identical. All right. And I see it curling. So now let's fill the rest of this with some of the poly cotton. So we're going to get a twofer here. And this portion here, this has been, I don't know. We're going to have to go crossways. This has been washed, this segment. All right, so let me pull the papers off. See what we get. There's the first one. And some of this should rinse off some of the orange. And I'm just using some plain water, and I'm just rinsing it into another bin. I'm trying not to dump the paper into the bin, and trying not to get water all over the floor. The orange, the teals did fantastic, but the orange looks like it wants to run a little bit. So let me rinse it again. And we'll get to see the difference between, yeah, I'm not liking that at all. I think these pages are going into the garbage. Into the trash with those. I'm still trying to find a good paper that I like. I thought this one was going to marble really nicely after our last experiment. Oh, you can't hear me? I'm so sorry. I thought it was turned up. Oh, is that better? I turned it up. All right, let's see what this one does. This one's not as bad as the last one, so maybe I'll keep this one. I know I was going to wear my headphones, and then of course I forgot, because that would keep the microphone right near me. Now this one's turning out very nice. Look at here. This is after... draining off some of the water. This is after rinsing. This one looks pretty good. So let me run and hang this up. Okay, now let's get the last piece out of the water. That is a very pretty color combo. And there's a very subtle difference. I probably will mix a little more white with the light teal after I'm done here. All right. And I just gently rinse this. So the orange is running just a little bit on this one. We'll see how this one looks when it's dry. Well, I think they're going to end up getting tossed out because I went back in there, and where I had hung up that the first paper that looked really good flat, it's now running. There's like a line of orange all across the bottom. All right, let's see how we did with this. Now this looks fine. Into the rinse bucket it goes. Okay, now just give them a quick little rinse, and then I'm going to put them in a Ziploc baggie. Oops. Just knock stuff on the floor. Hello, Jeffrey. Hi, Mary. Yeah, the orange is giving me fits tonight, on the paper anyway. It does really well on the cloth. But I was out of that orange, so I needed to mix some up. So, okay, so I'll leave those three there. So let's clean this surface off, and then we'll try another colorway. What would you like to see for colors? Someone help me out and pick some colors for me. Did I miss Carlene? Hi, Carlene. And this is just newsprint that I'm putting down. I bought some wine glasses at the store the other day, and they wrapped the glass in newsprint, and instead of tossing it, I decided I could flatten it out and use it for this. Oh, I don't know if I knew that's what your name was. See, I'm just like others. I know people one way. I don't connect it with their business name yet for the ones that are new for me. Okay. So let's get this out of here. So you're in disguise. I like that. Yes, absolutely, Joyce. This is called Ebru water marbling. I am floating acrylic paint on the surface of the water, and I move the paint around to make a design, and then tonight I'm printing fabric and paper. And then right now with the newsprint, this just picks up any of the excess paint that's left on the surface, so I can have a clean tank to do the next project with. And bubbles are not my friends When you marble, you don't want a bubble. If I put something down and there's a bubble there, the paper or the cloth will burst the bubble, and then there'll be a blank spot right where the bubble was. All right, let me get this cleaned out a little bit more. As I've said before, some colors are a little bit more difficult to get out than others. Sometimes you will see right under the surface some of the paint that has just sunk down, and it will not impact the design of the next project. Yeah, there's some right here and there's a little bit right there. And the way I can usually tell by looking at it, but how I make sure is I just take a white paper towel and just drag it on the surface. And when I bring it up, there's no color. So I know that orange that I'm seeing is under the surface. I don't like to do that very often because the paper towels really soak up a lot of the water. I do have kits on in my Etsy shop available. I have a digital book that tells you a little bit about this in my Etsy shop, along with a few projects. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hats I need to get listed. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So, let me pick the colors. Dark blue. Where's my white? Here's the white. I have 3 brands of paints that I use for this, and I have not had success mixing the brands, so I have to be careful when I'm selecting my colors that they're all from one brand. When I do my paint pouring, it doesn't matter, but it does for this. For me, I do know marblers who mix theirs, but I have not been successful. Well, maybe I'll use that too. And I need some orange. All right. So we're going to, I'm going to start with white. And just for reference, I cannot marble without a paper towel in my hand. It drives me crazy. I have to have one. I'm weird like that. So I'm going to fill the tank with a nice base of white. This is generally how I start a project, is with white. This art form is all about surface tension. So the more paint that's on the surface of the water, the more intense your colors become because they spread out. As you can see, they just spread out to fill the space. And once they get to pushing on one another, then it becomes much brighter. So I always put down a nice white, not always I guess, I shouldn't say that. I generally will put down a white. And now this is a dark blue. And I'm going to use a little bit of purple. Do you see that bubble pop on the tip of the bottle? some orange. And now I have a little bit of light yellow. Now watch this light yellow push that orange. If that's pushing it away from me. And this one we're going to comb. I have an entire bin of them, large bin. When I wasn't, well, I've been saving them for a while, and then they just got more than I was marbling, and then I didn't get to marble. Last September I broke my leg very severely, and I could not put any weight on it until December, and then I had to learn how to walk on it again. And so I'm just really getting back into my groove here. And so I haven't been marbling. So, but I snag newsprint everywhere I can find it. It's heavy though. You know, I wonder, I should try my very favorite paper and see if it will marble without being prepped. I do prep all the items that I marble. I marble glass and plastic and leather, wood, paper, cloth, satin, all the things. I've marbled night lights before. I love experimenting. Love, love, love. Not all of my experiments are successful. All right, there's those colors. Now I'm just going to draw this. Hold on, I need to tuck in the strings to my sweatshirt so they're not dangling in the water. Then I always wipe off the pins. Ouch. And I usually do stick myself just like that. All right, so now I have the option of taking the tool, the very expensive tool, also known as a bamboo skewer, and moving this around and making some swirls. Or I could leave it like it is. What do you think? Should I swirl or leave it? Anybody have a thought? And again, this is just acrylic paint floating on the water. Leave it? Anybody else have a vote? I can leave this one. So now we're going to put, I'm going to grab, let's see, I have 2 more sheets of paper, so I might as well put this down. Okay, leaving it. The bad thing about this design is, oh here, I can do this. But I'm not going to get all of the colors on one page. So we will just have to make sure we do this. It's just a tad bit too long. So now I'm going to run in and get, see, look at that, didn't touch. All right, I'm going to pull that out real quick. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it. so this is my very, very, very favorite paper to marble. So we're gonna see how this one turns out. This one will not curl on the surface like this other one does. This one straightens out when I hang it up. So this is more of the polycotton blend fabric. See, I'm trying to get the most out of each tank tonight. Let me grab another one. Ooh, just enough. Look at there. You want to make sure all of your edges, now look at that, it's flattening itself back out. You want to make sure the whole piece touches the surface of the water. All right. Okay, let's start taking this off and see what we get. The seaweed powder is in the, I prep the material. I prep everything that I marble. The shoes, hats, everything. So let me get this piece off first. I love the way it curled and then it relaxed again. I don't like the fact that I did not make sure it touched. You can see on the edges, it did take very, very well though. But see on the edges, top and bottom here, right there and right here, it started curling up and I didn't make sure it was flat. But that's not a bad print. So let me get this one rinsed. Oh, and I want to show you something else when I do the next sheet of paper. Now that took very, very well. This colorway seems to take nicely and it's not running. Hi, Janice. I can tell you now, I can report back that orange just totally made a mess of that paper. So, and that could be that I did not, I don't have that paint mixed quite right yet. Because that orange is a very intense color. Oh, look at this. Look at this piece. That makes me happy. Just about lost it in the rinse bin. Okay, holding on to it a little more securely. Oh, that just looks great. Okay, now we're going to pull out the one that I didn't even prep. See what happens. Sorry, it takes me a minute to do that. I'm not very tall, and so I have to get the paper on the hanger, and then I have to use one of those little grabbers that, you know, when you drop things and you can't get them. I have to use one of those to hang it up on the rod. So this was not prepped. Ta-da! Oh, I'm so happy with that. Whoops. I almost forgot to rinse it. I don't even know if this needs rinsing. Looks pretty good. I've got it on the tray, or on the board, a little crooked. I will sometimes fold my paper over, and you know those drying racks, those wooden ones that you used to get to hang your clothes on? No, if anybody is old enough to know those. I have I guess it's plastic now. I have one of those I set it in my tub. And sometimes I'll drape the paper over one of those, but I prefer to hang it up. The downside is I get little crimp marks, but oh my gosh, that took so well. Oh, that's exciting. There we go. So now let's get the fabric out and see how that's going to look. The first piece, let me pull those others out. I just reuse big gallon Ziplocs when I'm marbling at home. And I try to keep the same colors together, so this tray will all go in one bag together when it's fabric. And then the next will be the next one. No, another bag. So look how nicely that's marbling. Okay, so the next piece I'm going to marble is going to be, oh look how pretty that is going to be the cotton poly that I did not pre-wash. Now there's a lot of white on this, but can you see the texture of the white? So this one's yellow and white. Okay. So I just tossed it in a bucket of regular water. These are, let me show you. This is acrylic. These are acrylic earrings that I marbled. It has fluorescent pink, fluorescent green, and a yellow. I haven't put them together yet, but I look at them every time I come in here, and then by the time I get done and put it away, I forget about them. Thank you, Mary. All right. So these colors are going to come out a lot easier than the teal or the orange did. The teal wasn't so bad, but the orange did not want to come out of the tray. And every time I pull the paper off the surface, that removes some of the water from the tray, obviously, because it soaks up. I so appreciate those of you who are on here. Getting back into the groove of weekly marbling will be good for me. Although some days I may say stupid things because my brain is no longer functioning after a stressful day. Okay. So let's do some more. So this one, I'm going to pick the colors for this, because this project, if it turns out, will be for me. All right. So we have teal, pink, white, and I think I'll add a little bit of light gray. Okay, I'm going to start with white. It's so interesting for me to see how the different paints perform on the water. Different colors. Everyone will ask, how much, do you dilute it? How much do you have to? And I can only say, yes, I do. Generally, not always. Depends on the paint, depends on the color. Like that orange needs some more. So it's just hard to say. Can you guys see this design right here? A bubble popped and it made a really cool little spray. All right, and I'm a weirdo. I always must go light to dark, or dark to light. So my teal would be my darker one. I just love this color. Okay, and now we're going to do the gray. Hi, Shelly. How are you? I'm so happy you could make it. And this is just a pale gray. And if you're new to this, the colors on the surface of the water will never blend together. If I put them in a cup, just as they are, they would make mud. But on the surface of the water, they will not blend, which I think is just amazing. I'm not sure how that works. I have a daughter who is a scientist that could probably explain it to me, but she may have to explain 2 or 3 times. I marble on denim. If you haven't seen my altered denim jacket that I made, you should go back on the page and watch that video. Oh, love, 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 love. I wonder if I can get any, here's my fluorescent pink. I'm not 100% certain there's anything. No worries, Shelly. I'm happy you're here. I know this is not a normal day for me. Nope, this thing is just done, done, done. But wouldn't that look pretty in there? All right. I need to buy some more of that. So this design, this one's for me. So I'm going to do it my favorite design. And I just start by going back and forth. I wish you could all feel this. There's a little bit of resistance from the water because the water's thickened just a little bit with the seaweed powder. And you can just feel the paint. You can feel it push just ever so slightly. It really takes all the angst and all of the stress from the day, and it just flows away. It'll all come back when I have to empty the tray, put it back into bottles, take the bottles outside. I prep my waters in 3-gallon bottles. And this has nearly 2 nearly 6 gallons in this tank. Oh, I have an idea for another one too. Now the next piece is going to be the piece of cotton poly or poly cotton that was not washed first. So we'll see how they compare. The others seem to marble terrifically, so let's see what this does. Let's see if I can get this in the tank without it. Oops, I'm not done. Woo. What was I thinking? All right. Okay, there's that. You wipe these off real quick. So did anybody do anything fun today? I just worked my day job. It was not exactly fun. It was not the worst day ever, though. We've had some pretty hairy ones of late. And this I made, this tool, this is drywall corner bead stuff, and these are corsage pins. And I noticed this one down here is coming out. Right there. I'm going to have to secure that again. All right, so you have that, and now, oh, I bet they're cute. We have some, I drive by some babies every single day, and they're all out there playing and jumping around. That's my favorite design to do, to comb it and then make curls and loops through it. I love that. Okay, now we can put down the fabric. And I want to try to get it nice and flat. When your hands are itty bitty, it's kind of hard. Oh, it's still not going to go. Hold on, I need to get assistance. Dear, can you come and help me with this piece of fabric, please? I had to call in the backups. That is so pretty. I can't wait to see it printed. But again, this is the one that's not washed first. We'll lay it in here just like this and towards the back. Can you lean over there? Up closer to the edge. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I'm just making sure all the fabric touches the surface of the water. Okay, I'm going to let that sit, and we're going to put some more in here. Now, I have to be careful not to have wet hands when I touch the cloth. Wherever it's wet, it will not marble. Nope, it has to go this way. Got lots and lots of these strips. And I think these are still the poly cotton. The 100% cotton, the quilting fabric, has a different texture to it. Whoops. Stepped on my pant leg and just about took a header. And you don't have to leave this sitting like this. I'm just placing these down, so. I love being able to use up an entire tank. Let's see if I can fit one more in there. I don't know that I can. I think it's going to be too wide. Yep, too wide. All right, so, whoops, this one, see this little corner is sticking up, so I want to make sure it goes down. And there's another corner sticking up. And I can take my tool and just run it across the edges to make sure it's all down. But everything else looks good here. Okay. Let me pull these other ones out of the water. And I rinse them just to get the excess paint and size off of the fabric. I rinse them once again before I hang them up to dry, just to make sure. All right. I'm gonna move this water bucket over here so I don't slop paint everywhere. So let's get the little ones out. We know they're gonna work. And see, it doesn't matter if it touches itself. Look how pretty that is. All right, moment of truth is almost here. They're very soft colors. All right, now let's see what the big one did. It did fairly well. Yeah. So it didn't seem on that one to make a difference whether it was washed or not. Because you know, when you buy fabric, it always has a little bit of a size on it to keep it nice and stiff and pretty when it's on the bolt. And I was all excited. Yes, it would make a beautiful quilt. I am actually using some marbled fabric in a quilt right now. It's for a baby gift. And we're hoping that I will actually get it done before baby's first birthday in July. But I had marbled that fabric either the day before or the day that I fell and broke my leg. So that, I have a good reason to be a little bit behind. And if you're new to watching me, you will find that I have more ideas than I have time. I've got tons of ideas. Okay, I'm getting all the bubbles out from under the newsprint. If there's a bubble, it won't pick up the paint. Let me pull this fabric out so I can move the rinse bucket. Actually, you know, looking at this when I'm pulling it from the rinse bucket, it seems to marble a little bit better on the washed pieces. Not a huge amount, but a little bit. All right. Again, I just put them in a Ziploc bag, and then I'll rinse them one more time in the tub and then hang them up to dry. And then I do heat set all the paint with an iron, and except on hats, but I've never had any issue in 5 years of doing this, so it's all good. I do shoes. Okay, Look at these big bubbles. I hate bubbles. Actually, I love bubbles. I made a giant bubble string thing so I could make great big bubbles. I saw a photograph. I also love taking photographs. And I saw a photograph of these great big bubbles floating on a pond with the fall colors around them. You know, the trees. It was a fall shot. It was gorgeous. And I've wanted to do that for I don't know how many years. I tried, but it would always be too windy and my bubbles would pop right away. But where I tried it is, we were living in the desert at the time, down in California. And so the wind was so dry, it just popped the bubbles. But it was so, I still want to recreate that. Okay. Move the trash bin aside. And we're ready to start again. Okay, let me peek in here a minute. I know what I want to do. Let's do, I say, oh, I know what I want to do, and then I immediately change my mind. There it is. Okay, so we are going to use the purple and a lavender and a blue, a light blue. And we might throw in a little bit of light yellow. So I'm going to grab my piece of paper towel and we'll do it again. I tell you, I have a lot of these things I need to marble. The hardest thing about this, in my mind, is slowing down enough just to let this paint drip. So I go, 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 go. Let's see how much I can get done. And this really makes you slow down. Now look at, I'm doing this along the outside, and look how it's pushing that, whoops, inside towards the center. Now I'll do another row down the center and it'll push back out. Put some color on there. Now the lavender. And if you notice, as I go along, the colors are not expanding as big as the first colors did, because there's more paint. There's not enough room for it to expand very far. There's a bubble. Oops, here's another bubble. Okay, let's do some blue. Now I'm going to go ahead and move this around. Oops, and there goes one of the earrings. Just back and forth. And yes, I am going to comb it, and then we're going to do one thing. I'm not going to swirl it right away, or maybe not at all. But I am going to comb it. Now you can do these back and forth strokes as far apart or as close together as you want. And I see some bubbles right here. So we'll stop and get rid of those. And I apologize if I'm missing comments. I spend a lot of time looking down. All right, so let me get the comb. Hi, Betsy, how are you? It's so much fun. I wish you could all come to my house and we could just marble all day. Okay. Again, I'm wiping off the tines of the pins. I don't want them to start rusting, so I get a lot of moisture off. I don't get them completely dry, but I get a lot of it off. Okay, now I'm going to take this light yellow. I'm making some little yellow hearts. I've done Christmas trees, I've done a butterfly. The butterfly left a little bit to be desired. You can do birds, I've done tulips. I just wipe off the tip of my tool each time so I'm not putting any other colors through the heart. I'm a heart person, so it's one of the first designs I learned to make. All right, so now let's put our fabric down. You know, my leg still doesn't bend quite right sometimes. Okay, my strings came out, wanting to dangle in the water. One of these days I'll just take them out so I don't have to worry about it. So I am going to go grab another piece of paper. Actually, I grabbed two. I love this paper, but it's just not large enough for what I want to use, my purpose. But I'm going to try something else because I love the way it marbles. All right, so let's fill the rest of it with the cloth. Ooh, there's a circle I didn't do a heart. Heaven's sake. Can't have that. I just looked up at the screen and you're a little bit behind me. And I go, oh my gosh, there's another one, but that's the one I just did. Okay. I'm stepping around my rinse bucket, and it's just the oddest feeling on my leg. I still have a big spot on my leg that's numb from where they cut through all the nerves when they did surgery. It's just the weirdest thing. And I'm just tapping this down to make sure it all touches. All right, I'm going to get that paper out of here right now. I feel like I have not even made a dent in my fabric strips yet. And there's one more thing I want to show you with paper, but we might have to wait until next time. Oh, look how pretty that turned out. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. This paper is just wonderful, and I cannot find it in any other sizes. All right, I'm gonna go hang this one up. Yeah, the reason I was doing the paper first is because I was going to drip down onto where I'm going to put the cloth. And sure enough, it's just in there dripping right on that rack. So the cloth may stay in the bags until tomorrow when I get home. It's just fine, doesn't hurt it. And then I'll wipe that rack down and then hang my fabric. I think my daughter, when we tried this the first time, she kept hers in the plastic baggie for, I think, a couple weeks before she actually rinsed it and hung it up, and it was just fine. Oh, this is pretty paper. All right, ouch. Gonna run in and hang this one, and then we can carry on. All right, let's pull these pieces of cloth out of here. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments and I'll answer them. I'm probably missing a lot and I apologize. See, they're all similar, but not exactly alike. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. And there's the last one. All right. So now I'm going to bring you on up. So if it makes you queasy, look away. I'm really doing it sideways here. All right, we're all crooked and everything, but that's all I have for you tonight. Next time I'll do some paper and I'll show you something that's so cool. I love it. It's fairly easy and it just makes you so happy when it comes out right. So we'll do that next time, and I will take care to notice you when we're going to go live again. I'm going to try for next Thursday night, maybe next Wednesday. I don't know which are better for you, but if you want to let me know in the chat, that's just fine. And then I can gauge it off that. Hi, Kathy. I'm just getting done for tonight. Go back and watch the replay. We did some fun stuff. So take care, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. And remember, if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. It makes you feel wonderful. It doesn't cost you a thing. And it might just make their day. So take care, everyone. Bye.